Hello everybody and welcome to my mapping tutorials. First of all, I'm sorry for my mistakes in pronunciation. I write a lot in English, but I don't really speak it. I would like to make clear that I'm not a professional mapper and many things I do might be wrong, or there could be a lot better methods to do them. I will try to make things as clear as possible, so all who want to learn how to make maps should be able to do so with these tutorials. Remember that becoming good at mapping requires patience and motivation. Once you have understood the basics, only your imagination will be limiting your ideas. I would also like to point out that I mainly focus on mapping for Death Run because that's the only mod I make maps for myself. And I do not know how these things work on non-Steam because I only play on Steam and only use these programs with Steam, so you will have to figure out how to make maps non-Steam by yourself. Okay, so let's get started with the first one. This tutorial will show you how to install and set up all the programs you will need to make a basic map. We will not do anything yet because that will be in the next tutorial. Now I'm just helping you to set up the programs you will need. So first of all, open your browser. I will link this page to the description, you can find it there. This is a page set up by my friend Stoike, who has helped me a lot with mapping, and it pretty much has everything you will need to make maps for Counter-Strike 1.6. So open browser, go to this site, then on the left upper corner you can find mapping tools. Click on that. Then in the bottom you will find Valve Hammer Editor 3.5. Download that. Then on the top you will see this file with a weird name. It's a game data file that you will need. It contains the information of different entities and stuff, so download that. Then go back to here, go to the compiler and compile tools. From here you will download the batch compiler. Now this might not be the best compiler at the moment. I've heard this Mighty Atom compiler beta 1.5 could be better, but this is working for me and it does everything I need it to do, so that's what I'm using right now and that's what I will help you to set up. So download that. Then you will need compile tools, and these are the newest ones. Like you can see from the date, they are really recently updated. I can link the development thread in the description too if you want to go read more about it. But these are the best tools available now, so download those too. Now you will also need a WAD file. WAD files are texture files, so you can't pretty much make a map without them. So I thought we will use this default one. You should all have this by default. If you don't, you can go and download it like I just did. Just Google half-life.wad and go to the first links, Counter-Strike Planet. That's a reliable source to download it. So go to your downloads folder. As you can see, I have already downloaded it before. Go to your downloads folder. These are all packed up, so I hope you have some program to unzip them. I use 7-zip myself. First of all, you're gonna install the actual program. Go to here, extract it. I have made this folder on D drive for Valve Hammer. I already have the program installed, all these programs, but I'm helping you now, so I'm installing a new one, but also saving the old one. So I made this folder. You can put it anywhere you want really. I'm gonna put them here. Click OK, check the path is fine, extract them there. You can close that. Then you can navigate to the folder where you just extracted the files. And here you will find a readme file. I don't know who has written this, Stoike or someone else, but this is really simple. It's two-step install for the whole program. So first double click this one. A little window will pop up. Next, I agree. You can change the path if you want to. I'm gonna change it because I made the folder for this. Programs, Hammer 2. And OK. Next, and now it's gonna install. Now you should select, please put shortcuts on desktop unless you don't want to, of course, but it's really useful. I'm not gonna do it because I already have it installed and I have one here, so I'm gonna just put no thanks, and it just said it has finished installation. So what you wanna do, go back to this main folder where you just installed it, select this tools folder here and just delete it like that. You can close, oh sorry, I almost forgot. Go back to where you had these installation files, open this Hammer 3.5 folder here. This is basically just a, I don't know if it's a patch or update or whatever it is, but we're gonna install it anyway. So it's really simple, just cut or copy it to the main folder where you have the program files, just and move and replace the X file like that. Now you have updated Hammer from 3.4 to 3.5. Then you can keep the main folder open. You're gonna go back to the downloads folder where you just downloaded all this stuff. You're gonna install the tools next. You remember we just removed the tools folder from here, so now we're gonna install the new tools. Open that. I'm gonna select the tools folder from there and then extract it to the main folder of Hammer right here, Hammer 2. Check the path is okay, click OK, you can close the extraction window, and you can see now you have the new tools folder here with all the new compiling tools. Yes, so what you want to do now is go to the downloads folder again and copy this half-life.wad, or copy or cut, whatever you want to do with it. I'm gonna cut and move it. You can move it to the main folder, you can pretty much use anything you want, but I think it's clear to have them all in one place, so I'm gonna just move it here. Then you can go to the tools folder. You will find ZHLT.wad here. You can copy or move or whatever you want to do. Put it in the main folder too. So now they are clear that they are in the same place. Then you're gonna go to the tools folder again and copy this game data file fgd ZHLT fgd. Okay, yeah. Copy that. And now you can pretty much put them wherever you want, but I think it's clear to put them into this folder that says FGD. Go to the Counter-Strike and put it there. Now you remember we also downloaded this other game data file with the weird name. Go to the downloads folder where it is and copy or move it to the FGG folder too. So now you have Hammer installed, now you have the compile tools installed, and then we can actually start setting up Hammer first. So go to the folder where you have all the main files and click on Hammer X. Now you should see Hammer 3.5 like there. I don't know if you saw it, if it lags too much, but yes, if it had 3.5 then it means you're running the new version and all is fine. Now this warns you that you don't have any configurations made. That's exactly what we're going to do now. It's also asking if you want to start the guide to do this, but you don't need that, so just click no and then this configuration window will pop up. Now first you want to do is click the game configurations tab up there like that. You have something like this. Then go make sure you have this first place selected here. Click on edit, click on add. Now you can name, you're pretty much just naming the configuration now, so you can pretty much use anything you want. I'm gonna use CS so it's clear that it's for Counter-Strike. Click OK, click close. Now you can see it's there. You don't have to do anything to these, and you can't do anything to these. Now you're gonna add the game data files. Go to add from here and navigate to the Hammer 2 folder, go to the FGD, Counter-Strike, and you're gonna add, I don't know if you can add two at the same time. No, you can't. So first add the weird thing, like that, make sure it's there. Then you add this ZHLT, like that. Now, those are ready. You should change this option to func detail. You should have this here if you have the correct game data files. You should have func detail here. What this actually does is that whenever you tie a certain block to an entity, this will be the default one it will use, and it's good to use this because func detail is the entity you're gonna use the most. It's very important for optimization and stuff, but you don't need to know about that now. Okay, sorry for the small break. My recording program can only record 10 minutes at a time, so that's why the little break. This is also another default thing when you do put a certain entity in your WAD map, which entity will it be by default. You can also change this to info player start. This is a spawn point, and you will also be using these a lot, so it's useful to have there. Then you're gonna need to find your hl.x file. So if you have no idea where this is, you can just simply go into your Counter-Strike folder. If I remember where mine is. Yeah, here. Half-Life. Now this is the path for me. If you're on Steam, you should have something like this too. You can find the hl.x here. Now even though the game is Counter-Strike, I mean the game mod is Counter-Strike, but the game is still Half-Life, so that's why you need to select the Half-Life here. So, well, you can leave that open if you need it. So you go browse, now you navigate to that hl.x file. Steam apps, common Half-Life. Like that. It was in the Half-Life folder, as you can see here, so you leave that path like this too. Then the mod directory, now you go to the same path, but this time you will select the Counter-Strike folder from there. So common Half-Life and click on C-Strike, like that. Make sure it's correct. Game directory, again the C-Strike path. Steam apps, common Half-Life, Counter-Strike. Yeah, like this. Okay, so this page is all ready. You can click apply here. My buttons are in Finnish, so I don't actually know what's yours, but yeah, click use here. Then in this build programs tab you don't need to do anything because we are not compiling in Hammer, so I believe this is what you need to configure if you compile your maps in Hammer, but we are not going to do that. We are going to use the batch compiler. Then in 3D views. Wait, no. Yeah, it's this. These are, you basically need to look at this top box only. These are performance stuff. When you're looking at your map in 3D here, in the main window, this tells how much of the map will be drawn, and this tells from how far the models will be drawn. So if your PC can handle it, I recommend you keep this both as max. I don't know if it's even useful, but well, this model rendering distance is, but you wouldn't really need this much backclipping lane distance, but I'm gonna put it at max, so you can do this too if your PC can handle it. So that's settled. Then you're gonna go to the, oh, this was the 3D views tab, by the way. Then you're gonna go to the textures tab, and in here I already have one default. I'm gonna remove it. But now you're gonna go to the add flood, and now you're gonna navigate to the main folder for the hammer you just installed. Go to hammer 2. Mine is hammer 2, yours might be something different. So here is the default WAD file that you should also have, that we just copied here. Or you can select multiple. Okay, we can select them both and click open. Now you have told Hammer what texture files you can use while mapping. So these are both okay now. Now I think pretty much all settings are done. Yeah. Now click apply once more. This is just warning that I have changed the texture files, so it will only read them the next time I start Hammer, so just click OK. It will say it again, OK. Now you have to close Hammer in between. Oh shit, I opened the wrong one. I'm gonna go to the new Hammer I installed, Hammer 2, Hammer.x. Everything is starting fine, you can check if the options are still there. Yeah, seems all good. So now we're not gonna start making any maps here yet. I'm gonna help you set up the compile program now too, and in the next tutorial we will start the actual mapping. So go to your downloads folder, and here you have batch compiler. Go ahead and extract this. It's just an X file. You can pretty much place it wherever you want. I'm gonna use the Hammer folder again, just to keep everything in one place. Hammer 2, OK. Close the extraction window. Go to the main folder again, and now you have the batch compiler. Batch compiler set up here. Go ahead and click on that. Next, I agree. Now you can pretty much use whatever folder you want again, but I'm gonna do a folder for it inside the Hammer quickly. You can do this too if you want to. So yeah, I'm gonna install it here. Next, agree. Now I'm gonna change to the folder I just created. Hammer 2 batch compiler. Yeah, the path is okay. Click next. I don't need a start menu folder. If you do, you can create it. You should make a desktop icon for these two, really useful, and leave this checked too. BCP files are preset files. You can create different kind of presets on this program, and you can just load them up depending on what you need. So check those both. Oh sorry, I don't need the first one again because I already have it there. Yeah. Next, then it will install. You can leave this marked. Yeah, you can start it right away. Now this is what you should see now. Pretty much nothing. Now, because I don't remember all the settings by just from my memory, I'm gonna open the old batch compiler I have here and check the settings from it. So first you're gonna go to the specifications tab, and from here you're gonna choose Zoners Tools Advanced. Make sure you select the right one here because this is important. Zoners Tools as Advanced. Click on that. Now it's starting to look a lot more like this. So first we could go here and tap the same options as we have in there: CSG, BSB, Viz, RAD and batch, like that. Then you could actually go to the options. I can show them from this setup first. I don't know if this has it by default. Does it? Oh yeah, it has the default program for the log viewing set for Notepad, and this is fine. It just defines the program that opens the compile log to you after the compile has finished. So you can leave this as it is. Now here you're gonna have to do some changes. Now you remember those new tools we installed. Now this is the place where you need to put them, because this is the compile program and this will be using those tools. So CSG first. If you remember, we made the new tools folder into the new Hammer folder that I created. Hammer 2 tools, and it automatically only shows the CSG here. So click open on that. Now the path is saved there. BSB, same thing. Put the BSB in it. Vis, same thing again. HLVis. RAD, again same thing. All this from the new tools folder that we created, or that we extracted here. Okay. Then you're gonna need to find your ZHL.x again, if you remember where it was. Steam apps, common, Half-Life, and HL. Yeah, sorry, my time ran out again. So what I just chose was the ZHL.x here. Then you're gonna need to find your Steam.x. Now this is again a place where I have no idea what non-Steam players do, but this is what I'm gonna do now on Steam. You're gonna go to Steam, the main Steam folder. In here you will find Steam.x and click open. So that's set. Now what this option does, it defines where the WAD files, the texture files are or where they are gonna be. So depending what you chose earlier, I decided that I will just put them to the main folder of Hammer. They are, you can go check from the main folder. The WAD files are here. So I'm gonna use that main folder for this path, like that. And this output defines where the compiled maps will go. So I actually, well, there is a maps folder by default, so you can put them there. So you have this selected. Browse again. Programs, Hammer 2 and maps. Yeah, I'm gonna put it there. Hold on a second, I'm not sure if how this worked. Yeah, that works fine. You can put them there. To presets you don't have to do anything. Now when you have these set up, you can click OK. Now in the first tab you don't have to do anything to these options, and I actually have no fucking idea what these do. These do show a small description of the option below, so if you want to you can find out what these do, but I have no idea, so I'm not gonna teach them to you now. Switch to the backup. Nothing changed. CSG, this is the first place where you're gonna need to change some stuff. Now what this option does is it removes the excess WAD files that would be needed to download with the map. I'm sure you all know that with some maps you have to download WAD files. So this is very useful. It includes the used WAD files into the BSB. This also makes sure that nobody can just use your textures that you just created without any kind of permission. It is possible to rip them off your map, but this protects that a little too. But anyway, it makes the downloads a lot clearer, so check on that. Clip type, I actually have no idea what this does, but I just know it has to be on simple. Now, because we're gonna be mapping with the default the ZHLT WAD and the Half-Life WAD, so you're gonna check two of these. Browse here. You're gonna go to the main Hammer folder. For me it's Hammer 2 again. I'm gonna select the Half-Life.WAD. Second WAD file, ZHLT WAD, like that. You have to tell to this compiling program also which WAD files you used. So, and also a good point for those of you starting to map, you can only have a maximum of 8 WAD files in Valve Hammer, or shit will start to fall apart. And as you can see in this in this compiler program there's actually only 7 places, but you should never use even 7, only stick to like 3 or 2 or something like that max. I will show you how to combine WAD files later, so you don't need to use many different ones. You can just combine them into one and use that. Then to the BSP, nothing changes. This, here you're gonna click check this box. You can, if you go to it, you can see exactly what it does below here. Run as fast or normal or full viz. You're gonna select full here. Again, I have absolutely no idea what this does, but yeah, it seems useful. So we're gonna go to RAD. Here you will check this option. Extra, this does something to the lighting to make it look better. Bounce, you're gonna check that. This determines the amount of bounces the light does. So you're gonna put 8 here. Oops. Yeah, 8. Nothing else changes. Go to RAD 2. Nothing changes here. RIP end, that's already checked for you. Shared. Nothing changes. End data. Already checked. ResGen. Already done everything you need to do. Also, ResGen is a program that I will teach to you about later, but not yet. So then go to batch. Nothing checked here. HL. It's already set the way it needs to be. Go to Steam, and that's okay too. Now you can save this whole configuration you just did by going to File, Save Preset As. You can save it pretty much anywhere you want. I'm gonna put it to the main folder again, and I'm just gonna call it tutorial, for example. Click on save, and now you can see that it's saved. If you go to open preset, you can see the tutorial preset save file here. So you can't now lose these options. They will always be saved in this file. So now this program is ready to compile. Wait a second, I'm gonna check it's saved or everything. Yeah. Okay, we have batch compiler set up and we have Valve Hammer set up. So next thing we're gonna do is start mapping really, but that will wait for the second tutorial now. Hope this helped, and please ask if you can't understand something, but I would also like to point out that these programs are years and years old, so pretty much every single error you can get in Valve Hammer is already documented and fixed somehow. So if you run into errors, I recommend you Google them first, because I guarantee you will almost every single time find an answer there, and you will find it faster, and you might learn something new instead of just asking me in the comments or Steam or something like that. So hope this was helpful, and see you on the next tutorial.